Good morning, fellow traders. This is Pete Soros. It is Monday, August 22nd, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In today's video, we're going to be covering the Swiss franc Japanese yen cross. What we're going to look at here in the 4-hour compression is we're going to look for any signs that this market is leading us towards in finding a direction to trade. And first off, what I can see is that currently it looks like we're coming here off a very strong bottom that has been set in place around this level right here, coming at the 96 flat price level. Okay, so we can see that a bottom has come into place here. We can definitely see that there is a unsustainable trend here in the marketplace. This movement definitely is not sustainable, so we anticipate somewhat of a pullback to the north on this pair. Now, what we can see is that we cannot necessarily trend this current marketplace. Okay, we can see that we have something going on here, but we do not necessarily have a trend at this time that is trendable, and we realize that that is acceptable due to the fact that this is currently an area that we anticipate is market reversals taking place from the downtrend that we had in force here to potentially turning for a movement north, either being an uptrend or just a pullback of this unsustainable movement at this point. What we can definitely see here is that we have a single line trend line in play, and for that matter we can see that this is a line of supply in the marketplace, and we can also see that we've had a violation of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to place that on the chart. Since we cannot trend this market, we'll go to the next best thing, and that is definitely the single line trend line. And what we can see here is that there are 3 solid points of this single line trend line showing us that supply was in effect here, and now that this market is broke up above it, we can see that demand is now in the marketplace, and when demand is in the marketplace we see the pair drive north. Okay, just a common factor of supply and demand. Now, what we also want to do when we're here on the 240 charts, we want to look for any PSRs to the upside so that if we do break, we know where we're going. So what we need is an uptrend. To the left here, we conveniently have a very nice uptrend in play, and when you have this opportunity, when you have a most recent uptrend to the left of your current price, you want to take that instead of going further back in the past. Now what we're looking for is key areas of support in this uptrend that will indeed affect the movement north that is going to happen, being that it's going to affect it as targets in the marketplace. Okay, so we definitely have a key support right there at this level, and then we can also see here at this level we have a key support coming in. So those are the only levels of support as in terms of PSRs that we're worried about for this move. We can see that we do not have anything up above here. These supports, we do not count them because they are all part of this overall support coming in here at the 101.38 level. Now, we've got what we needed out of the 4-hour compression. Just take note once again of that strong bottom coming into place. Let's go ahead here and move this down to the 1-hour compression and take a look at what we have going on. So now remember, in the 1-hour compression, what we're most interested in is looking for a initial movement that is going to show us a nice smooth pullback, and from there we can grab Fibo targets to look for targets to trade to. Okay, and what I can see here is that this is the break here of the line of supply. This is where demand came into the marketplace, and we can definitely see that as price continued to rise, the effect of demand overcoming supply in the marketplace. Okay, so what I can also see is that this is the start point of that movement that broke through, and here is the top of the movement that broke through, and we have a nice smooth retracement in there, and that's what we're looking for. Remember, we're looking for the market to do a smooth retracement and then continue trading north. So this is definitely an area that I want to take my Fibos from so I can get Fib targets from the bottom to the top. So upon doing that, what I want to see is there any market respect currently at this time of Fibo targets in the marketplace. Okay, and what we can see here is a beautiful example of the initial movement, 50% retracement, and then from there, perfect to the pip 270 Fibo payout. Now this is where we start getting interested because we've seen the respect, we've seen the market pull off for a retracement. It looks like a 382 in there, and from here it looks like we're turning at this point, and we're looking to attempt the next area of the Fibo in the sequence being the 61.8. So we are now continuing to build upon the current movement that we anticipate is going to happen north. So furthermore, what we want to do is we want to take this down to a smaller compression and see, do we have any chart patterns in the marketplace that are affecting the current traders, and also we want to see, is there any intraday targets that we're interested in trading on the current movement. Okay, so what we can see here is that it appears that we have a bull flag coming into this marketplace. Now let me just further adjust this so that we have exactly what we want to be looking for. Okay, and we can definitely see clearly now what I was talking about, and we can see that we have a bull flag in this marketplace. And notice how beautifully well built this bull flag has been. Okay, respecting not only the top and the bottom and the top, but the heart line top again. And now what we're looking for here is for a continuation to occur. Now what's interesting to take note is of the intraday movement that we've already seen take place, coming down here from around this level here at the 97.20, where the London session has created a movement north on this pair, a pullback 50%. And now what we're struggling here is with that top at around the 97.80. You can see that definitely coming here in this marketplace, that top that this market is struggling with intraday here on the pair. Okay, so basically what we're looking for is one thing at this time, and that is for this market to break out of this bull flag. It would be nice to see it break up above that 97.80 price level that has been giving us the problem, and to see it hook back either to that level or to the top of the bull flag, and from there launch and continue trading north. Now let's go ahead here and build upon the targets that we're looking for north. And what we can also do is take our intraday targets, being the movement that we've seen come in at this point, and that is looking from this bottom to this top. So we want to fib these. And we also want to take note of where this current movement is so we can work in our average daily range. So let's go ahead here, fib this out from the bottom to the top. Let's just make these a nice pink color. Okay. And furthermore, let's go ahead here and see what is happening at this time. Now what we can see here is that we have a nice confluence coming in at that 61.8 hourly Fibo, overlapping the 1270 of the intraday Fibo. So this level right here has just become our intraday target for the current movement north if we get the break of the bull flag. Now if we don't get the break of the bull flag, none of this matters. But again, we're anticipating the break of the bull flag to come in here during the power hour of the trading session, 8 a.m. till noon a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, everything looks like it is building momentum towards this movement. Now what we also want to do is we want to see where do we stand within our average daily range. It's just another piece of the puzzle that if we can throw it in there and it makes confluence, then we know what to look for. Okay, remember, average daily range currently on the Swiss yen is 140 pips. So taking the start here of the movement, what we want to do is extend 140 pips, and when we extend 140 pips, you can see that it lines up exactly with that area of confluence that we were talking about, being the 1270 61.8. So what we want to do is take this right here, and we want to highlight this area, and we know that this is exactly the area that we're going to look to take profit on and look for the market to attempt today during the New York session. So on the Swiss franc Japanese yen, we're going to look for the long opportunity to come in. Once again, we're going to look for it to break up above the bull flag. It would be nice to see it break on that break to the 97.80 and above, so that we know that we are clear of this top that is giving us a problem intraday. And then it would be nice to see the pullback right here. Always enter on the hook, okay, and then look for the profit to come in here and target it up to this level of around the 98.60, which is a overlap of 1270 Fibo of intraday, 61.8 of hourly, and the average daily range of the current movement on the Swiss franc Japanese yen. You would be able to take a technical stop and place it below this 97.35 price level. Okay, so around a 97.27 stop would be appropriate on this pair. So with that said, folks, hope you enjoy that. We'll talk to you soon. Until next time, good luck and happy trading.